Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Wisconsin has a new poet laureate. Dasha Kelly Hamilton was chosen because of her, quote, infectious energy and demonstrated history of transforming lives through the written and spoken word.
And we are thrilled to welcome back Dasha to the Morning Blend. Good morning to you. Yeah, we were missing your sound there.
This pesky mute button gets you every time. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And thank you. It's good to see you both.
So good to see you too. Congratulations on being named the new Wisconsin Poet Laureate. You are also the first African-American woman to be named as well. What does this mean to you?
It's incredible to have invested this energy and this passion in encouraging people to scribble their words and share them in front of other folks. Yes, I'm looking into the imaginary audience of the people who have recovered from that experience and come out on the other side stronger and connected to community. And that's the part that makes me incredibly proud, just knowing the relationships that have been formed in this work, the epiphanies people have had, the conversations that have been born, and to be able to have that kind of a healing spirit and spread it throughout the state. I'm incredibly excited to know that this work has had that merit and I get to do it for even longer.
Well, congratulations to you. Tiff and I are so excited that they chose you. We kind of feel like we're the ones who introduced you to the world, so we deserve
all on
credit.
Us.
Yeah,
all that. Absolutely.
You've been joining us on the Morning Blend for years, and we love your energy too. So it's not surprising. And I wonder now that you have this designation, what's your job for the year?
That's the part that I'm excited about. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday and she was saying, well, wait a second, do you know how to just do one or two things? I said, we're going to find out. So I get to immerse myself in my writing and my words, the gift of a lifetime for a writer in particular. And my platform as a laureate, I want to continue using poetry as an opportunity to get people in conversation and to give people the chance to speak and be heard. So I'm going to create a poetry exchange between traditional residents of the state and residents of the state prisons. And the program is called Alignment. So we'll be introducing one line of poetry, and on one track, it'll be inviting people to come on a program with me and just have a conversation about the stories it makes them think of. And with this program, with the Poetry Exchange, we'll be encouraging people and giving them tools to actually create new work, trade it with someone that they don't know, and one poem at a time, one line at a time, we're going to remember that we are all humans and neighbors and residents with lots to say, lots of lives, and a lot of loving and progress to do forward.
I love that. I mean, how incredible. What a cool idea. What a great way to connect people. I wonder how you're going to do that in this next year as we kind of move forward in a pandemic. I think about, the woman before you. I think her name was Margaret, Peggy Rosga. And she did all these workshops and, the in-person speaking events. And in a day of COVID, when those things aren't really quite happening yet, or they're very different, how does this program work for you? And how do you really want people to participate?
Absolutely. So I am living a double laureate life because I am also currently the poet laureate for the city of Milwaukee. So I'm finishing my laureate term for the city this year as I begin the first year of my term as a state laureate. So having had the experience of becoming a laureate for the city and the pandemic happening, very quickly had to figure out how to continue building these relationships in these two-dimensional digital spaces. So there was a series called Poemalogs where it was a chance to have these heady and abstract and funny discussions with a random collection of people, again, all aligning between one idea. So I'll continue that using these spaces. I'll have courses. I'm going to reach out to the other laureates to offer writing classes. We're going to have these conversations that are available, and ultimately planning towards next year when the whole world is opened up a bit more. All of this work and relationship we're building this year will turn into publishing conferences and a publication anthology of Wisconsin Voices next year. So I'm fairly confident that we'll be able to stay in touch with each other, and building the coalition across the state is what I'm most excited about, because I'm not going to be able to do this all by myself. I'm not trying to read all the poems that come into the poetry mailbag. It's going to be partnerships with reentry agencies, with universities, with poetry alliances across the state, with individuals. So this is definitely an all call to all folks who want to be a part of building this really unique coalition of people figuring out how to be people.
I'm glad you brought that up, this idea of a coalition and people writing and every these relationships and connections that are formed. You say there's a poet in all of us. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with that, especially because some people have trouble just understanding the poems that they read. So what do you mean when you say that? Is it true?
It is absolutely true. I was just having a conversation with someone last night, an educator was saying, I just want to understand how to teach poetry to my students, because I didn't have that experience and I had my own personal bias perhaps, or challenge with the practice of reading and processing poetry. And I said, well, writing poetry isn't hard. Writing a great poem is hard. But four words in a line, one behind each other, boom, you've written a poem. So then really what I'm telling people is everything that you look at is your perspective. We can all look at the same apple on the same table, and the way that I see it and experience and remember it, we're going to have completely different stories. And that truth by itself is a poem. Oh. So I believe that people feel that they have to be Langston Hughes or Yeats for their poem to be counted as poetry. And I was the same way. It wasn't until I started going to open mics and I saw someone I could see in Walgreens reading a poem that they wrote in their words, in their cadence, with their passion, and it all counts. So I think all of us were brought through feeling that there are only certain ways that a poem can be counted as a poem. And there's a whole conversation about canon there. Yeah. But just you describing what you saw, what you ate, what you thought, whatever language comes to you.
That's a poem.
I've now dubbed you all poets.
There we go. See, we're all poets. Thank you so much for joining us, Dasha. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
We're so proud and happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.